So our special studio guest is Brother Johnathan Medlock. He is Prince George's County's commissioner, along with a myriad of other things that he will go into detail in describing what he does on a day-to-day basis for us, out here fighting the good fight for us. And what we do is we hop right into the discussion, and then we loop back midway into the programming to share with you guys some of the upcoming events that we have going on here at Everlasting Life, which is 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. But we're going to get right into the discussion with Brother Johnathan.
Absolutely. I truly appreciate being invited here to speak about the things going on here in Prince George's County. There are a lot of good things happening. Yeah, I want people to know. We need to let people know what's happening in the area.
Tell them a little more about what you do. That's not the only title you hold. Prince George's County Commissioner.
Well, you know what? In October 2017, I was appointed to be the commissioner for the county for the Human Relations Commission, and what that is the Human Relations Commission is the civil rights wing of the county. We deal with anything that deals with civil rights issues. And for instance, if you work for Six Flags and they discriminate against you, if you wanted to come to our commission, we could hear that and have a turnaround within 180 days or so. Unlike the 5 or 6 years fighting the case for with Six Flags, but we kind of get it done pretty quickly, as I think we can award up to $200,000 and punitive damages and other things too that go along with that. So yeah, definitely fighting for the civil rights of the county. Also, I am the commissioner of the city of District Heights, where I work to pass legislation and ordinances to move the city forward. We have a youth services bureau being built now, a $1.8 million project that started a year and a half ago with Hassan. It'll be finished by, I think, June, to help the needs of those in the surrounding area, not just District Heights. So I'm looking forward to that being built. We're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony for that. But yeah, from the legislative to the judicial side, I've worked in the county, just representing the people.
Right, and that's from what I know personally about you. That's just one. That's just your latest, your most recent task.
Absolutely, and
because we go back some way.
We go back a long way. I used to be the vice chair of the National Black United Front for many years with the brother Salim Adolfo, U.S. acting was Secretary Treasurer. Okay, making some stuff happen within the community. We did a lot of great work too.
Yeah,
we were a small organization at that time, fledgling, growing again, but we were powerful. We were everywhere. People thought we had 10,000 people based on the work that we did. And we did some really great work in the community. So, nationalism is something that's near and dear to my heart. So I don't just come into politics, just willy-nilly. I come with a purpose. And I planned this ascent to politics in order to get more resources for our community.
I remember back in the day that's what was, you used to tell us.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing I admire so much about you, because now you're in the seat, but you still rep your RBG.
Absolutely.
I see you got your RBG going on.
I have to say it's true.
Where so many others will tense up and get a little uncomfortable with some folks that they used to be comfortable with.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable. Anytime you want to move and progress things forward, you have to be a little bit uncomfortable. If you're not being progressive, because there's pushback to progression. There is friction in progression. This is not just progress for the sake of doing it. So yeah, I do. I have people who probably don't like me because I stand on my principles and I'm unwavering. And I was listening to brother Edward X the other day and heard some great word from the brother, and always admired him ever since he came home and he started working with the organization, and he speaks a lot of truth. And those are the type of liberation movements and speeches and conversations we need to continue to have.
I agree. I agree. I caught that message too. I actually shared it on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Oh no, I
You
was
good?
just, yeah. No,
Oh, okay.
I was gonna ask, if you could just let us know, like, how did you get into politics? What kind of inspired you or set you on that path?
Great question. When I was chair of the organization of the National Black and United Front, I was able to do my part, but I knew I could do something greater. Grassroots organizing is very, very difficult. It's a lot of work, painstaking work, and there's not enough reward. And I knew I had the requisite skills, knowledge, and abilities to go get the resources from the political realm, where the resources were held. So I stepped down from my post in the chapter, and I ran for office in District Heights. I ran, and I lost, or I was an unsuccessful victory by 20 votes, and I didn't give up. I went back into the second cycle, understanding that it's more scientific than grassroots, and I won. And I didn't just win then. I had to go through a series of processes. They tried to keep me out. And then the residents and the people who I supported me. Came out in droves. We had, they went to the municipal center and really came in on my behalf. So I knew there was more to be done. That's what brought me into politics, to do the work that I did as a nationalist in the political world, and to get more resources for our people. Simple as that.
Right. If you're just tuning in, you are watching the Empower Hour, and we're here with Johnathan Medlock, who is the Prince George's County Commissioner, and we are talking about activism in politics today. I just read an article that you were featured in the Afro magazine recently about you hitting the ground running.
Hey, you know what?
That was a good article.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of kudos went your way.
Yeah. You know, I've been working. One of the things when I ran hard to get this position here as a Human Relations Commissioner, only because I wanted to tackle mental health and mental illness. This is the primary thing that I wanted. And having that platform, there's a lot of mental health, mental illness discrimination. And if I am the commissioner who is going to fight that or champion that cause, we need to start talking. Yep. We need to start having those conversations, those tough conversations. We need to get away from taboo in our communities about not talking about bipolar disorder, depression,
Good teacher.
You know, anxiety and panic disorders. Let's have that conversation, because we go through a lot of things a lot on our own. And we don't have that conversation, those tough conversations. So as the Human Relations Commissioner, I am going to have a task force. I'm going to get the funds and resources. We're going to have, I'm going to make it almost like when you hear about domestic violence and all the things going on with that, and you hear about trafficking in person and all those things, mental health is going to be on the ears and the eyes of everybody in Prince George's County. And I'm going to make it my business, but I need the help of those who understand mental health, who aren't afraid to come out. And I've had my own challenges with depression and other issues, anxiety disorder. You know, I've had my own challenges, but look at me now. And I want to show people, despite what you're going through, you can still be successful in what you do, even through it. That's the operative word, right? Yeah. Even through it.
Good point. It's funny you bring that up, because Hanifah and I, we got a show really soon coming up on that same topic. You know, in our relationships, how depression affects our relationships.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how it contributes to the breakdown of the black family, black relationships, period.
Right.
Yeah. And it goes back to conversations, Alqamar. It goes back to having those conversations. And we can't heal unless we speak to each other, unless we have these, these back and forth dialogues about what's really happening, what's really going on.
Right.
Because we internalize, and that internalization becomes toxic. We know that. And so when we start having those real conversations, I think we're going to have the real healing. But it starts first and foremost with mental health. The really quick tidbit of information, I looked at the recidivism rate of those going in and out. 70%. 70% of the recidivism rate is based on mental health, undiagnosed.
Wow.
So you go in, you do a crime, having a bipolar disorder or some issue, you go to prison, not treated, you come back out, untreated, you do the same crime, untreated, you're back in, untreated. It's cyclical. And those who are in power know how to heal and remedy the situation, but it doesn't benefit them to do that. So we have to get away from that now. Profit is over. Playtime is over.
Come on.
We have to actually do the business of our people, and that's why I'm here. And with so many others, not by myself, but I can at least step in the fray and start the conversation.
I love it.
You made a good point as well, talking about the discrimination when it comes to mental health issues, specifically in the Black community. It's still a taboo, and I think the way that we kind of get rid of the discrimination is through education. So once we educate, then the discrimination will kind of, subside. It will go away because now people are educated. And once that's done, then we can create a space for transparency where people can talk to each other and not be afraid of being judged. The issue right now, at least we have a ways to go in providing or creating and cultivating a safe space for people to talk about mental health issues specifically. So that's definitely a good point that you brought up as far as mental health is concerned, because it affects so many areas of our lives.
True. If you want to call in and join the discussion, the hotline number is 240-455-5934. Again, 240-455-5934. Jumping back into the discussion on politics, what surprised you most about the job after taking it? What was one of the things you I didn't know that this is what I was stepping into?
I knew I was stepping into a very hard task with administrating and moving things forward, but I understood what I didn't know then as a nationalist and as community leaders. We jump in and say, well, let's do this and handle it like this. We're going to go in and bogart, and we're going to make swooping changes, and it doesn't happen like that. It takes a while because the establishment is still there. Just because you come in doesn't mean you're going to make those immediate changes, but you have to be patient. You have to be diligent, though. Diligence, patience, and persistence, right? And I think those are the things that I didn't realize. I wanted to go in there. I wanted to fire people. I wanted to say, this is not working. We can't do it like this anymore, because I understood what needed to be done. But I had to understand the process. So the process is so slow, getting things moved forward. It's because really people don't really want to do the work, Alqamar. Can we be honest? They've gotten complacent in what they're doing. They've gotten used to some level of feel good from being in a political position where people can see them and they're recognized and they feel good, but we have to get past feel good politics, and we have to actually start doing the work. It's just a big issue now that we have to continue to work on. We have to get the people out who are not working with and for us, and insert people in who are about their business. And one of the things I've been working on too, all the brothers and sisters that I know within the community who are nationalists or who are Pan-Africanists or who are Black-centered, African-centered, is to get them to really run for office or be a part of the community and the process, because with that we can take over.
So now, and that's one of the questions I had as well. Now, for those people who you say, you're looking at them, you're like, you'll be a great asset, they're Pan-Africanist, the ideology, the way of thinking is perfect, right? But then you run into an issue where they're not interested in politics at all, have you found that, what are some of the challenges that you've run into as far as getting people interested in not just the political process, but also community service?
You know what? There's so much to do, and people a lot of times ask me, they want to do something, but they don't know where to start. They don't know where to start. And I'm like, the need is so great. There's so many areas where you can fill the void and fill the gap. The challenge is getting people mobilized, because I always want to have something for somebody to do. They ask me, Commissioner, I need to work with young boys or young girls. I say, okay, here's an organization. And I have ready for them somebody to contact and be involved. Now, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. They need their own self-motion. So I can't, that you want to do something, do it. I'll give you the resources. Now you have to do the work to get it done. Sometimes in situations where I have to really call on them and reach out to them a little bit more and push them in that area of activism and work, because sometimes some people need that extra push and the extra drive. And that's not just happen. So you got to call them up 1 or 2 times, say, brother, sister, hey, we got this going on here. I need to see your face in the place. And sometimes they show up. When they show up, they feel good. And so they start to do more of those things.
You know, one of the things that I also think is cyclical as well is this interest in politics.
Yeah,
you know, because I
question.
found that people who come from families who actually discuss politics in the home, at the dinner table, they tend to be more, open to and interested in the political process. But then you have people who come from families where they didn't discuss politics. So there's how do we get, because I'm thinking, to get these people even interested in the political process, I feel like it's not too late, but I feel like we should be focusing on the youth. And like, what are some of the creative ways that we can do that as a people to get our youth involved in the politics? I mean, when Obama ran, a lot of them were definitely way more involved. We had a lot of youngsters, minors that actually wished they could vote, but they couldn't.
They couldn't.
They were way more in tune, way more involved. But how can we keep them on a local level involved in the political process?
Absolutely. There's some legislation on the table now to decrease the age to 16, where young people can be able to vote here in Maryland. This is actually something that is being proposed. So that is very encouraging. And you know why? Because younger people are more engaged and they're more in tune with the political process, unlike their fathers or mothers and the grandfathers, the grandparents. So they're more engaged, they're more insightful, they know what's going on, they know what's expected from and for them. So the age is being decreased. One of the things too, especially within the black community, 92% of us would call ourselves Democrats without really understanding what that means, and focusing on voting Democratic just because you're black.
Right.
And it was cyclical also. And not understanding that you can take from either position and make what you want. Take the good from the conservatives and use it. Take the good from the liberals and use it, and make it a African-centered approach. We can take both and use both at any point in time. So, and as nationalists or as people who are Pan-Africans, we don't believe in voting. We say, why vote? Because we can't get anything done.
That was my question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if we say that, then we've pretty much given up, because everything is local. Politics is local. So getting me in on the grassroots level, that's still grassroots. It is at the level of community, and I can fix the streets for our community. I can have homes that are vacant now rehab so people can live in those homes. This is still community building. This is still leadership. But you put me in a place, in a position to do the work. So it's local. So when it's time to vote for President Obama, it's too late, because we've lost.
So what do you say to those though who feel like they're saying, okay, voting is working in the confines of this system, and if we've been doing that for 400 years,
absolutely.
And how do we take a revolutionary approach to where we are, how we stand by voting?
Absolutely.
How does that benefit us?
Oh, absolutely. We've been working with the system for these 400 years, but we haven't been working against the system. It's a difference. And once we start to infiltrate the system by its own rules, voting by its own rules, we infiltrate the spook that's set by the door. How did he get in? How did he get into the fabric of what's going on and dismantled it, right? So you have to get into them. You can't be riding along being a leech on a system or a whale just riding along. There's nothing. You have no effect. But if you want to get inside, you begin to change. So I begin to think about to affect the system from inside out.
Right.
What we're doing is pity-pat, hitting on the side and doing little things to we think we're making changes. We're not. We're just making bruises. We're just bruising the system. But internally, we need to start revolutionary. We need to have a revolutionary thought and changing how we view voting and use their game against them.
Well, what has to change then, even with that, if we use your definition moving forward? Because I read, Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Black Labor, White Wealth.
Yep.
And in that book, brilliant book he wrote, he talked about how there's like 3-4 times as many black people in politics today as it was in the 50s and 60s. But yet we have no economic advancements whatsoever to speak of. I mean, you can pull out 1 or 2 here, 3 or 4 there, but I'm talking overall for the black nation within this nation.
Absolutely.
We have no gains.
Yeah.
Despite having so many more politicians in office.
Yeah.
So with what you just shared, how do we go from because it seems like, just because we got a black face in office representing us don't mean that we're getting what we need to be done.
Absolutely.
So what has to change?
Well, we have to start vetting people a lot better when we start putting people into office, and we can't just put them in because they're a black face, and we call them sometimes in nationalism Negropeans. People who look black but have this spirit and the mind still of the oppressor. So sometimes we have to be able to identify that and to look at it and call people on their spirit sometimes. And we look at aesthetics, like, oh, they look good, they have a certain swag about themselves, that's going to get them into the office. It ain't about that. It's about that person's spirit. The work they've done before is a good indicator of what they'll do moving forward.
Yeah. So
you can't just bring people on board just because they look like you. Right. We have family members who we wouldn't want to deal with.
Hence voting Democrat.
Right. Hence voting Democrat for the sake of voting Democrat. Right. You can't do that. You have to look at the issues, substantive issues, and make it an informed decision. Start thinking for ourselves, for our own black selves, and push our own agenda forward, whatever that may be, however they may look. But we have to really start, we have to rethink this game. This is chess, not checkers.
Yes,
this is a time where we have to be strategic with every single thing we do, and getting these people in office that not only look like us, but have our self-interest in mind, our best interest in mind. We want to get more people involved. We want to get our kids engaged, and we want to move things forward progressively.
Right. I'm listening because you talked about mobilizing earlier, and one of the things that I think I probably would say in the past, we don't really have the money, and there are so many things that have happened of recent that if you still think that way, then you're missing it. The money is there in the community. We have it. It's a matter of coming together and working collectively and mobilizing. You can pick 1 or 2 candidates and you can push that. Utilize the money that's in the community and push that person, help them campaign and all of that. But I often think that we have so much division among ourselves, and we also can't get away from voting Democrat. That, to our own detriment sometimes, but it is possible, as far as, but how do we encourage people to even get on the same page to mobilize?
Once again, that goes back to mental health. That goes back to security of self. A lot of times when people feel insecure and have their own issues going on, it's kind of hard to kind of come together collectively. If I don't love me, how can I love you?
That's right.
If I don't support me, how can I support you? It goes back to those very small, tangible conversations that we're having now. We've had this for years, this 400-year plus issue of not coming together once they separated us in their own way. And we're finding ways slowly, and it's a spiritual war too. If I could say that, it's a spiritual war and a spiritual understanding, and us having the same collective spirit, doing a collective thing, will absolutely get things done. But we have to start having the conversation first.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's right.
So I want people to see me out here and hear about my journey, where I came from, and who I am now. And I still have the same spirit I had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 15 years ago. I have the spirit of our people, unapologetically for our people, because everybody else is unapologetic for theirs.
That's right.
And Dr. Khalid Muhammad said somebody got to be strong.
That's right.
Somebody has to be strong. So we have to raise up strong leaders and continue to fight the good fight. So I'm ready, and I know there's a lot of people who are listening, who are ready to do the work alongside me. if you don't have the ability to step out in front, I don't have a problem stepping out in front and leading the fray and having being the Verizon man with my folk, my crew behind me. But I want us to continue to move forward and understand that we have good politicians also, not just self-serving politicians.
But we're going to get the community in on the discussion and see what they have to say
Absolutely.
on the social media lines. And if you're wanting to join the conversation via phone, call us 240-455-5934. 240-455-5934. Anybody had anything?
So far, just people. One person just made a comment saying people pick politicians like they pick their mates. You know, and it's those.
Pick politicians like they pick their mates.
And sometimes we make.
Oh, I like him. I like her. She's
make
cute.
the wrong choices.
I like his suit.
And we have to think deeper when we talk about politics and people we put into office.
It's like that about Obama. Women are still talking like that about Obama.
Swag, all that stuff. But we can't think of one thing definitively that he did for our community. Definitive now.
You about to open up?
Come on. No, when we talk, when I say definitive. But definitive in the sense that there were so many other agendas that we can see that were pushed forward and worked for those constituents. But for us, we did not ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. I was having a conversation with the brother Anthony Ayers. He's running for sheriff for the county. And good brother too, good brother. And we were talking, and he said that people will come up to him and shake his hand and say, "I'm gonna vote for you. I'm gonna vote for you." And he says, "Why?" And they can never give him an answer. He says that's so frustrating to him, and his goal is to educate the community on what he's doing, why you should vote this versus that, or why, because we, again, the personalities. You see a man and you like, okay, well, you look like a good enough person to vote for, so I'm going to go and give you my vote. And he said we have to stop that. We really do. We really have to stop just voting for people for the sake of, like I said, those aesthetics or you just seem like a good brother. Or stuff like that. Now, understanding what I'm really doing, anybody can put on airs and fronts. We have this political season now that everybody's being everything, and they're listening to everything you have to say, and they're really in tune with everything that you have to say, and they're going to make sure that it's taken care of when they get into office and all these other things. They're selling us dreams, pipe dreams as we used to call them, right? False hopes, false fire, right? But we have to look at what have they done before this.
Right.
Before, because we have new candidates coming on board saying, I want to be a part of something. What have you done?
Right.
Who are you?
Right.
And what can you do for us? Those are the questions. And we have to hold people's feet to the fire. We really, really do. And we have to do it unapologetically. I chastise you only because I love you, right? And if you chastise me, you tell me that I need to do this better, Medlock, and brother, you've gotten your way. Get me back on the right path.
Right.
But I can rely on those in my community to hold me accountable.
Because I think a lot of times we use politics as a crutch. We'll we'll use voting.
I was going to say
as a crutch.
Yeah, I think we've gotten caught up, and I think it's due to our history in this country as far as not being able to vote at one point, because you hear that brought up a lot. Your ancestors went through such and such. How dare you not vote, right? So I think that's a part of it. So it becomes more important to vote than why am I voting, or why am I voting for this particular person. Right. Just the fact that I'm voting. Right. Like you said, the guy coming up to the sheriff and saying, I'm going to vote for you, brother, But why? You don't even know why. Because it's more important now for me to vote as a black person. And again, that's connected to our history. I think we get into a part of it. Position to where we feel like, okay, it's voting day. I'm going to go, I'm going to punch the screen, I'm going to get my sticker. And that's it. I'm done. I've done my civic duty. I got to get my sticker so I can get my picture out there. Everyone must know you voted. And then that's it.
And you feel good. You feel good for that day. And I voted. I voted. What do you do?
And meanwhile, things are going from bad to worse.
And they're signing legislation and things that will oppress you even more because you haven't paid attention You haven't paid attention to what this process is. And then we ask ourselves the question is, why did our ancestors die to vote? What did they know that we didn't?
Good teacher.
What did they know that we didn't know?
Good point.
They died for to say we need this.
Yeah.
We need this, and this is why. I would put my life on the line for this.
That's a good point. I think of what's the sister who that was her big fight back in the day. Oh gosh, the sister they beat her so bad just for wanting to vote, and she would go back over and over and over again. Yeah. Oh man, I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Yeah, it'll come to us, but we have to ask ourselves that question: why though?
Ida B. Wells.
Ida B. Wells.
Ida B. Wells.
I have a question.
Yes.
One last question before I know we're about to go into break. What happens when there's a situation like we just had, where you have a Trump and a Hillary, and you have people? The conversation that we were having was, I don't really want to vote for either one. You know, and then it came down to the lesser of two evils. My response was always, it's still evil. Lesser or greater, I don't understand.
Yeah.
So what happens when you find yourself in a position like that? Is voting even that important at that point?
At that point, the process has already taken hold. It's already, it is what it is. Now you have no choice but the less of the two evils. So that's it. That's all you have. Because at the beginning, the infancy stages, you didn't put in the work you needed to create local, county, state. Now, by the time you get to the federal level, it's too late. Now you want to start voting and have your way. But now we're talking about electoral. Now we're talking about this is already done. And if you'd have paid attention at this level, in the county level, where we get the work done for the community, then you could have affected, it wouldn't have been Hillary and just Trump. It would have been our party that we select.
Because what happens is that we choose normally based on what's been presented to us.
Period.
We don't take our resources and time, energies, and efforts and push forward those who we want to see. We just choose from who's given to us.
Right, but and I always see that when they have like Democrats versus Republicans, independent party, whatever they have, they give you two options here. Right. And I always chuckle because I think of it as a parent. As with my 6-year-old, I say, okay, these are the 3 things. I have no problem with these 3 things, right? So I'm going to give him 3 things that I don't have an issue with to make him think he has an option. You know, I always chuckle because I'm like, no matter what he chooses, I'm fine with it. And that's how I felt about Trump and Hillary. But it sounds like from what you're saying, the whole political process and making an impact and bringing about change is more of a trickle-up effect than a trickle-down effect. It has to start at the ground level up, not the other way around.
Absolutely. Right. It does not start from the top down. From the top down, it becomes dictatorial. You know, but when it is from the ground up, we are building it.
Grassroots.
Brick by brick by brick.
Grassroots.
Foundation first.
Gotcha.
Build. Now it's what we've made.
Right.
You know, so that's how we got to do it. By the time it gets away from us, it's too late. Then they vote in the people who they want, who look like us, in order to trick us and to have us thinking that they're doing something for us.
Well, again, family, if you're just joining us, this is the Empower Hour. We do this each and every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. We take a different topic of discussion, impactful topic, and come to you and hash it out right here on air with your help, of course. If you want to call us, it's 240-455-5934. That's the studio hotline number. The lines are open if you wanted to jump in on the discussion. We're going to do, it is midway into our programming, so we're going to come to you and share with you some of the delightful things that we have going on at Everlasting Life Restaurant and Lounge. That is where we are located, 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Everlasting Life is one of 3 locations, so you not only can you get some great vegan, great tasting food right here, but there's a Evolve Restaurant and Lounge as well as Vigoritos, and they're both located in the Tacoma Park section of Washington, D.C., so check them out. The next thing we do have coming is Eli's Got Talent. That is a new event that is on the scene. Unfortunately, we were scheduled to start tonight, but we have no talent. So we have people ready to come and watch and, you know, and everything, but nobody's signing up for talent. Yeah, no one's taking the stage, so we need talent. So if you're out there, singers, musicians, actors, griots, you storyteller, maybe you have a book out there that you want to come and talk about, drumming, all that. We need your talent. So you can go on to eLife Talent on the Eventbrite page for more information on that particular event. Children's Night is each and every Thursday night right here at Everlasting Life, where anytime after 6, from 6 to 8 p.m., children 12 and under eat free with a paid accompanied adult. So not only do they get a good, wholesome, healthy meal free, but they also come and enjoy different activities with other children in the community. So come on out. They have a good time each and every Thursday right here at Everlasting Life. Dinner and a Movie follows that up on Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. Yours truly hosts this event. We take an impactful documentary normally, and we air it right here in the lounge area. It becomes a movie theater, and then we have a discussion that immediately follows each film. So come on out, share with us. A lot of the discussions be very, very insightful too. I learned a lot just from the audience members.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's free from 7 to 9 p.m. each and every Friday. Marketplace, eLife Marketplace, that takes place the third Saturday of every month. So if you are a vendor who specializes in fresh produce, natural supplements, organic herbs and spices, or vegan groceries, or anything within that realm, we want you to come out and share your things with the marketplace. Again, that's third Saturday from 11 to 4 p.m. That goes on right here at Everlasting Life. There's usually a cooking class or some type of presentation that takes place as well on that day. Black Wall Street Renaissance, another event yours truly heads up right here at Everlasting Life each and every first Saturday of the month from 12 to 6 p.m. This event is also free. We have vendors to come out, different vendors, so you can shop till you drop. But not only that, we host a new lecturer every first Saturday. We just hosted Imhotep. That's you, brother from Baltimore. You're familiar with Imhotep. Yep, PLM, Pan-African Liberation Movement, and he did a powerful presentation. Yeah, very powerful. If you want to catch that, it is on our Empower Hour Talk Show Facebook page. Check that out. Yes. So every first Saturday of the month, Black Wall Street Renaissance. Come and check us out. Again, it's free. Broadcasting. So you see what we're doing here. If you yourself are out there and think that you have a voice that needs to be heard on a broader scale, come check us out. We're looking for engineers and volunteers, hosts, marketing reps, producers, content creators, and the like, right here for eLife Studios. Our mission in 2018 is to grow this baby. Absolutely. So, and we need your help to do just that. And you know how important it is to have our voices out there in the media. And I love how it's so many grassroots media, black media popping up all over the place.
Come on.
I think that's a big, oh yeah, that's great. It was so necessary. So I'm glad to see it. So come on out and share your voice with eLife Studios. And me, Malik's Fashion, Jewelry, and Accessories. I'm here 4 days a week. Tuesdays through Friday, right here at Everlasting Life. You could catch me anytime after 3 p.m. with all my fashionable jewels, clothing, Afrocentric wares, and a whole lot more. I offer natural soaps and toothpaste and body oils and things of that like. So come on and check me out right here. Again, it's 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. And briefly, I just want to mention the National Black Men's Convention in March is coming up April the 18th through the 22nd. Brother Malik Zulu Shabazz is heading up that. He'll be joining us soon here on our show as well to talk to you more about this march. But there are, if you want more information on that, it's blackmensmovement.org. blackmensmovement.org. They're calling for 10,000 black men to come out and help stop the killing in our communities. It's always a good reason
and the
to
ladies
come together.
can support too. It's
Absolutely.
not just for men.
Thank you, Hanifah. She always reminds me of that. The ladies, we need your help too for this movement, for sure. So, jumping right back into the discussion, Hanifah, did you want to share anything?
You know, I want to encourage people too who are watching though too, to definitely to call in, to ask questions of your representatives who are here now. I'm here. I do represent the greater Prince George's County area, my District Heights people. I'm here. Call in, ask a question. If I can answer, I would definitely do that. So call in and engage in what's going on in the discussion.
Yeah. Again, that number is 240-455-5934. I did have a question. You know, we hear all the time about how politicians are paid off, or you know, they had their donors, paid them. How does that work? Because I'm thinking, the other day I got to thinking about that in depth. I'm like, how do you? I know they can't just come up and say, here's $10,000, and I need you to sign off legislation to help my business or my corporation. How, break that down, how do politicians actually become corrupted that way?
It is, one, they become corrupted based on who they are and what they want anyway. Because if they come into politics and their allure is money, fame, sex, drugs, and the whole nine, if that is their predisposition, it's going to be easy to be bought off with $10,000, $2,500. People have lost their soul. Absolutely illegal.
That's what I'm saying. So how is it actually done?
It's subtle. They're not going to come at you and say, "Hey, here's $10,000. Let's pass this legislation." It's going to be over time by breaking you down, giving you things you want. So when they ask you, "Well, I need some. Can you do this for me?"
So I think a lot of them, they'll feed into their campaign.
They'll feed into
money.
the campaign.
But is that legal?
Giving money to campaigns it's not illegal to do that.
Okay.
That's why they have caps on how much you can donate, and we have national elections and even county elections that's going on now. Certain people can only give so much money, like $500 cap, or any corporation gives $6,000, and they can't give any more. But if somebody supports me, who's a corporation or a business, and they can give me $6,000, there's nothing wrong with that. They're saying they support me and endorse. But everybody wants something on the other end.
Right.
Everybody wants them. You remember I gave. You remember I did. And it's like, what are you going to do for me? It's quid pro quo, right? So we have to understand, and we have to be very careful with that, because politics is very tricky. Like we used to call it politricks.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get tricked into being and believing in this own hype and your own sense of self too. Because sometimes when you lose yourself in this whole political game, this is why it's important to have people around you who will help hold you accountable, because you can lose touch.
Yeah.
This stuff becomes appealing to you when it never was before. So yes, people can get bought off and paid off, and but the politicians who've been in it for 15, 20 years, they know how to get you when you come in new and green, and know what to entice you with. But if that's not your thing, they can't entice me with money. I make my own. They can't entice me with doing stuff other than how I'm built.
Right. So how do you become? You said they come in with sincerity in the beginning,
good intentions,
and then 5, 6, 7, 10 years later, you part of the good old boys club.
And this is
how does that happen?
Oh my God!
People get burned out.
People get burned out, discouraged. We get sometimes even in nationalism and organizing. Man, we organize, and it is a thankless job.
Right,
yeah,
Politics is a thankless job too. But it's people see what you do for them, and sometimes really don't support you like they should, and it becomes hard sometimes. And sometimes people give up. They do, and they begin to focus on something that is. They don't even care no more. So they begin burned out. Self, and it comes back to self. This is why it's important to have village on your side and say, brother, let's redirect. Let's give you the resource you need to regroup, because we need you. We got to start supporting and feeding into our politics, our politicians, and our people who are leading us. you know, and the leadership is not a negative thing. You know, sometimes I find it hard for some brothers to work with me because of my alpha personality. We all have alphas personalities. Some people are betas, but you're the best beta. But help and assist. There's no better than. There is
a place for betas.
And there's no better than though. we got to understand this is my position.
Yeah.
I play my position. That's it. And even other alphas, let's work together and get stuff done. Stop butting heads and putting ego in the way. We don't have time.
Right.
Yeah. Our lives depend on it.
Our lives depend on it.
Did we want to discuss some ancestry?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was part of another thing that you have going on.
Absolutely.
Currently.
This is what's coming this Saturday at the Municipal Center in District Heights. We have an African Ancestry reveal. And what this is Gina Page, who is the co-owner of African Ancestry, did a few months ago the ancestry for me and a few of my commissioners in District Heights. And what I wanted to do was start the conversation off the heels of Black Panther. People are so proud of being black, and they talk African, and they talk about where they're from and what they want to do. This gives us a vehicle to kind of start to reveal who we are and our African ancestry. So we're going to have an event. I'm going to have the Malcolm X drummers and dancers come through. This is from 12 to 2 p.m. It's going to be a lot of energy. We're going to have food being catered for those who are going to join us. We're going to have a reveal. Gina's going to reveal. I still don't know what I am
Really?
at this point. Yeah.
Do you have an idea? Like, have there been any like family stories that you know some people have, that, especially people from the South?
From the South. And from me being from Georgia, we definitely have had those conversations. And we looked at. I'm thinking Nigeria, West Africa.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the area of Mali, Togo. And of that region, I know.
What makes you?
Because when I look at pictures of other, people from the continent, I said, man, they look like mine, or just that resemblance.
Yeah.
But it's good to know, and I'm excited to actually know. And this is the organization that have not just a few pieces of DNA, but thousands. Unlike the competitor that they have, these African Ancestry have thousands of different DNA pieces, and it can give you the land, the region, the tribe.
Right.
This is exciting.
Right. So this going to be done for both sides, the mother and father side, maternal and paternal?
Absolutely. Well, they do both maternal and paternal. You get more bang for your buck when you do the maternal side, because it follows the mother's side, and it goes back even deeper and further when we follow maternal. But they do both, and it gives you that line of African ancestry. We all come from, and it gives us only the African part. We know we've been diluted. A lot of us, especially here in America, there is bits and pieces of Europeanness in us. But we want to focus on that African, that 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, where we came from, Africanness. So it's going to be an African Ancestry reveal. That's at 12 to 2 at District Heights Municipal Center. That's 2000 Marbury Drive in District Heights, Maryland. It's going to be an absolute wonderful thing. I have some flyers going through Facebook and Instagram and the whole like, but definitely come out and support.
Beautiful. I think Gina Page, she was just she just got a good shout out on the Breakfast Club the other day. Did you see that?
Absolutely.
The brother who starred in Black Panther.
Who was the king, the prince, then the king. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he shared that he was telling Charlemagne that what you got wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
you got to go through African ancestry to get your ancestor, because he did. And he was, like you said, she was able to trace back the whole back to the tribe.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating that you can actually still see physical resemblance from people on the continent.
Yes.
So it's like, it's like we forget that those people that are currently living today in that tribe are our cousins, our uncles, our nephews, literally really blood related.
Literally.
And you can really actually still see the physical resemblance of something.
Yeah, and it's amazing about knowing who you are, because so many people, we're lost, but to find some resemblance of meanness, and to know, well, at least I know this.
Yeah.
You go back and you can relate again, and you can continue to build on that. And those are just traditions. And if you have none of your own,
right?
You know, you build the traditions based on where you come from. And another thing too, Gina Page just got back from Africa. She was in Accra, Ghana, and I think the Backyard Band did a documentary with her, and they had their reveal done also. So they took Go to Ghana. And did some great things.
Took it back home.
Literally.
That's where they got it from. Took it back home.
So it was, with the drums, and it was a great time. And so those are the type of things that I want to continue to push in here in Prince George's County. We're going to start in District Heights. I'm going to lead this particular charge to get everybody excited about knowing who they are. If you want to be a part of that, let's work towards discovering and having that conversation again.
Yeah, I find it. What frustrates me though is that we actually have to pay for this service. I'm gonna talk about that though. You know what I'm saying? You just stole us from our homeland,
and we gotta pay.
And we gotta pay to figure out where we came from.
But if we're gonna pay, at least pay back to ourselves.
Absolutely.
And pay it forward, as they say.
Absolutely.
And not give it back to the hands of the enemy or the oppressors.
Good point.
I think narrowing it down. I think when you take these tests, it narrows it down. It's no longer a general thing. To say, my ancestors were from Africa, because that's very general. Africa's humongous.
Right.
With so many countries in it. So to narrow it down to the country in Africa, the people, the region, that is significant.
That is
huge. That really is huge. Yeah.
It goes back to getting the knowledge yourself. That goes right into that.
Back to knowledge of self.
Well, at least I know, from you start figuring out or getting glimpses of why you do certain things the way you do and all that kind of stuff.
I was going to say that because
the cultures come down to genetics.
We underestimate the fact that we carry ancestral memory.
That's right.
And I think if you are able to narrow that down, it'll explain a lot of things in your own life. Where you're like, even dreams that we have, open-eyed visions that we have, this happens to people, and it's something that we can't really explain because we haven't connected the dots.
Yeah.
And so to be able to do that, I'm sure you'll find a whole lot of connections to even now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
It's very exciting. And it'll hopefully, I know it's going to give me a glimpse into who I am and why, like you said, why I act the way I am. And some things I can't shake. Sometimes I get tired. I don't want to do that. But my spirit calls me to. Why is that?
Yeah.
And hopefully this is going to be, if I know I come from this tribe of warriors, okay, I have no choice but to war. it is in me, so I'm excited,
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like I know personal situations where like I know somebody who's really good, a handyman or really good at workshop or what have you, but never knew their father growing up. And found their father later in life, and he too was a handyman, a workshop. And, that's genetic.
Or even the things that you're drawn to.
Yeah.
Now you're like, why am I just drawn to this? Like I'm very mellow,
Yeah.
I'm really mellow. I'm really drawn to healers.
Yes.
I'm drawn to people that kind of carry the same energy, just kind of laid back, mellow, and my fight looks different.
Right.
And it hasn't changed. I've been like that since I was young. So I'm interested to know, you know what I mean? I wonder if that's ancestral memory just within my own self I don't really, understand. I know some of it, but to go as far back as the continent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why we honor our ancestors.
That's what we have to.
Because they are who we wouldn't be here if it weren't for them.
Yeah. And this is why the battle, once again, the understanding is not just the physical form, but it's the spiritual connection.
That's right.
Once I connect back with that, it gives me something more, gives me a place, a space to say, this is mine, it belongs to me. We have ownership. We're slaves here with nothing of our own in a sense.
Right.
But you can trace it back to, this is ours.
Right.
And now it belongs to me. Now we can start doing some stuff from a Pan-Africanist perspective to assist our land. But when we're so disconnected, we don't know. We know Africa, but now we know Togo. So guess what? We're going to start working. What can I do?
And I think a part of that too is expressing your self-expression in its fullest form, you know, because oftentimes when we don't know who we are, we try to fall in wherever we see fit. We try to fall in line. But if you can narrow it down, for example, if you find out that you're from a warrior class of people, you can kind of own that. You know, all of a sudden you have these agencies like, yeah, okay, then this is who I am. Because you being an alpha male, you could probably feel like I have to turn this down a lot so that I don't offend others or so others can be comfortable around me. But when you find out, no, this is who I am, period. I come from a long line of people that are this way. I'm good. I'm just going to fully embrace this, you know? So,
Yeah, I've heard someone speak on the subject matter of, they said that that's why we go through so much struggle and strife here in this country, is because we refuse to honor our ancestors.
Absolutely.
It's like when we don't honor our ancestors, they don't come to our aid. They don't come to our defense.
Absolutely.
And so they are our power. And if we ignore them and shun them, and I'm not African, I'm American.
Then we become powerless.
You have just disconnected yourself from your whole ancestry. And then we wonder why we struggle so much in this country. Well, we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, sisters. This is Brother Haki. How y'all doing?
Brother Haki, how you doing, brother? How you?
Good.
Good.
Doing well.
Is this the Success Scholar?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
So I appreciate the conversation. Definitely about doing your tests. I've met the sister several times. My question, actually, I want to go back a little bit in terms of the conversation about more the what's going on in Prince George's County in terms of elected officials. I was at a candidates forum maybe for a county exec, and I'm sure you live in, you hear what's going on. But I heard a statistic. They said something about with black contractors. They said that black people in Prince George's County. I was at a Nigerian church, let me just say. It was like maybe a week or so ago. It was the candidates for the new county executive. And they said that black people in the county are only getting 2% of the contracts in Prince George's County. And I was like, wow, that's really, interesting to hear. So I would like to ask the brother, in terms of, in terms of, people talk about Prince George's County being one of the wealthiest, counties in the United States. I live in Bowie, and I'm just like, is there like some kind of disconnect with, the elected officials, either the current county executive or the county council, in terms of who's getting this money? Because, look, we just had Marion Barry statue. I went over there this Saturday, and I'm like looking around and seeing what's going on with these other leaders in elected position. I'm like, what's going on? So I just like listen to what you have to say, brother.
Absolutely. Well, definitely appreciate you. Really
Good
quick
question.
Yeah, great question.
Thank you, Haki.
On that, there's a disconnect. There's a very small number. I think the number of having contracts that we get, we're talking about these large contracts too that bring in the bulk of our money, aren't owned by black businesses. We have others come in from other areas to be a part. Even
2%, that's dismal.
It really is.
For Prince George's County?
We're talking about for the largest, those large, businesses that come in. Then they being white owned or other owned, hire within Prince George's County, but we don't own.
Right.
See, so that's where we have the disconnect in such small numbers. When we get Amazon coming, or we get the Harbor, MGMs, and all these places come in. We don't own these places. There's contracts, but we hire them. We hire people making small minimum wage, whatever the situation may be.
Right.
But we don't have. We need to do a better job about building first, then bringing those businesses back, the quality businesses that we need, back into Prince George's County where it should. And we're starting to move in that direction by sometimes moving people out and moving other people in who understand that.
Yeah, and I think, and I know we run out of time, but I think that is another reason why we need to learn our ancestry, going back to Africa to connect those lines as it relates to trade.
Absolutely.
You know, so because Africa has all the resources.
Every last one.
And so and if we can get those trade routes going between us, and that helps us build industries. Yeah. But anyway, that is. You wanted to say anything more?
No.
Did you want to end it with anything?
Yes, really quick. I just want to make sure that people come out again to the African Ancestry Reveal on this Saturday, 10th. At the Municipal Center in District Heights. We're going to reveal, we're going to have good food, we're going to have African drummers and dancers coming out. The energy is going to be amazing. So if you can come out, even for 15 to 20 minutes, be a part of what's really going on. Reach out to me at any point in time. I'm online. You can see me on the website. Reach out, email me if you have any questions about what's going on in the county, for my position, and what's going on in the city of District Heights. Let me know. And we'll continue to talk, but I appreciate the time that you guys have given me.
Well, thanks and gratitude for sharing the platform with us.
Thank you very much.
And that's our Empower Hour, family. We will be with you right back, same place, different topic next week. Like our page, the Empower Hour Talk Show. Take care. Peace.